But you're so much older than me.
I mean, we have kids the same age.
I didn't know who. I honestly, I knew Hard Candy, Billy Hard Candy Montana was older than you.
Billy is the elder.
But
I'll tell you, you can't even put us in the same camp. Come on. That's crazy.
Dawn of Time.
Oh, wait. Hey, almost forgot. I got you something.
Oh, you did?
Me or Ben?
So we texted about this, and sorry, this thing is so old, the plastic is coming off.
Is this the old bottle?
Yeah, but I saved this because it has the price tag on it, $9.73. And so I don't know how old like the bottle of Jack I got. So this is Olivia's aunt in West Virginia.
Like from back in the day.
She had this store, and then she ended up closing, and she found this old bottle of Jack Daniels, which is from like 1971 or 72. And so I have it, and it's in this old box thing too. But then I had this bottle of Chivas. Is that how you say it?
Chivas Real.
Chivas.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a Scotch guy, but I was like, hey, Ben, is this thing worth anything? Because I think I did a Google search, and something I came up with said like might be worth $300, or it may not even be worth that much. But I was like, but I got to thinking this morning, I was like, Ben would appreciate this. And so
it looks
this
like
is yours, pal.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're just going to give it to me?
I mean, it looks like it has leprosy.
It could. You know? I mean, you never know what you're going to find in these old bottles.
And the plasticky band obviously didn't make it over the last 50 years, but like I said, I saved that one piece so amazing. You could see how much it cost. $9.73 from whenever it was first produced.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like these dusty bottles like this.
There might be.
So Ben is, as some of you may or may not know.
Oh, are
probably
we on
nobody
now?
knows. Yeah.
Wait, have we been talking this whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't been recording me say all this other stuff, have you?
Well, what other stuff?
We'll edit that part out.
Yeah, but are we on now?
Yeah.
Don't worry.
All right.
But Ben,
I don't want anybody to know all the curse words and things I said.
You said the wordy dirds.
I did.
Ben is an avid collector of bourbons and whiskeys and scotches too, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
How many do you think you have of the liquors?
I mean, of the liquors of just how many bottles in
just
general?
Bottles.
Is it just brown liquor you collect?
I mean, I like all the liquors.
All? You're not prejudiced?
No, definitely.
Okay.
I'm kind of an all liquors matter person.
All liquors matter.
But no, I like I go for the brown ones more.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a bourbon guy more than anything.
As you should be.
Yeah, you should be.
mean,
it's just so I probably have 500 bottles, 400.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Ben and I were
crazy.
chatting, I think a couple of months ago, and he's like, yeah, so I'll like purposely drive to, because he's from Colorado. It's like, yeah, I'll drive to Colorado and piss off my wife, and we'll just like make random stops at all these liquor stores along the way just so you can try and find rare collectible bottles.
You don't know what treasures you're going to find in places.
Oh,
you know?
my gosh. I have gone all over. I've got guys all over the country that I've kept in contact with that, I mean, my buddy in Colorado that I call the Kingpin. That's just what I call him because he gets me random things because he owns a store over there. And he's like, hey, I got this the other day. And because my big thing is I don't pay over retail.
Yeah.
Like I don't pay the secondary
So you're not going
prices.
pappy.
No, unless I find it for retail, which I have. So it's like $100 retail.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You found it for retail?
Twice.
Wow. Here in town?
No.
That's
One of them was in
searching right there, man.
Oh, dude, one of them was in San Francisco. No, I bought 3 BTAC bottles, and like George T. Stagg and William LaRue, and some. There's another one that was it 3 that I bought or 2 there. Yeah, it was Thomas Handy. Joke away, keep joking. Wow. That's what it's called.
Keep
Got
joking.
yourself a handy. That's what you have to say because that's what it's called.
When I have my bourbon, I like to give myself a little handy.
That's
right.
Nothing like a little handy before you go to sleep.
500 is pretty impressive. I was thinking, 50, 60 bottles. Because we have, at home, we have a little liquor cabinet that have some proud bourbons in there. Some are worth some monies. But there's probably 10, 15.
Oh, yeah, man.
My crown jewel is the Sinatra Century that my wife got me.
Yeah, that's good.
She paid $500 retail for it.
That's about
when it first came out, but now it's probably tripled in price.
Man, I could talk all bourbon. I could go all day because I'm obsessive about anything. So like if I get into something, I just get super obsessive, and I just can't not be that way. So
like your Plow Hard 3000.
Yeah, totally. That's what it is. And it's like I can't just go halfway on something. So it's like I start down the bourbon thing, and I was like, man, this is cool. Then I start reading about like the mash bills, where it's made, this and this and the other, and it's like I just can't stop. I'm just a wealth of knowledge at this point.
You hit that rabbit hole and you just go down.
Yeah, and then I'm just hunting all over. Like when we drove to Colorado, we've gone multiple routes. There's one route that's a good route to go.
There's a whole new bourbon trail in America.
That's right.
If you didn't know.
There's about 18-hour drive if you go the normal route. But this one time I was like, hey, babe, we should go through Texas.
Your sweet wife.
And she's like, why do you want to go through Texas? And
she
I
knew
said,
the answer.
She knew. She's so sharp. And she's like, why do you want to go through Texas? But she makes me tell her.
Yeah.
Kids are with us and everything. She's like, well, I was like, well, I mean, we just never see that part of the country on the drive to Colorado when we make it.
Yeah.
She's like, you just want to hunt for bourbon because Texas is Mecca. And I was like, well, fair enough, but you've never been to New Mexico. And she's like, fair enough.
Yeah.
So we went and we did it all. And I
Even
found a bunch.
Stevens. Yeah.
God knows how much I spent on this.
I don't know. One, I don't know how you spend that much time in a car.
I mean, my kids actually travel really well. It's the craziest thing. They can't get along ever in the same room. Even at dinner, they fight.
Yeah.
But we get in the car and drive somewhere, they fight like twice.
Is it a headphone, iPhone, iPad thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's that or just the Ambien. I don't know.
A little dabble, do you?
Some Benadryl, some Ambien.
All of them.
Some chloroform. Yeah.
Everybody's sleepy,
Right.
sleepy.
It's hard
night,
well,
night.
it is hard to fight when you're tied up in the back.
Exactly.
With your mouth duct taped. It's harder. But it's pain-free, really.
At first, I had one cage for both of mine. And then we had, they got big enough to where we had to put them in there separate. They're padded on the inside.
Yeah.
It's the rubber coating. It's like the Line-X.
Yeah.
We have it in there.
Good.
So they don't hurt themselves.
Yeah.
And there's a little dish. So they can
pee in it, or
drink.
they
No,
drink?
they
They
drink.
drink out of it. That's right.
No, we stopped to let them pee.
That's good.
Yeah.
And we have a little rope so they can run
good.
and dig.
some bread and water.
Some fish
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah. Welcome, Ben Glover.
To Twine Town.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
We just got started right on the bourbon, so I feel right at home.
Yeah.
Well, we figure if
good.
we ease you into it, then you're more apt to do what we want.
That's right. That's
So
usually how it works.
do you sample all your bourbons, or are there some you've never even touched?
Oh, there's a bunch I've never touched.
Is there that one bottle that you'd be like, I probably never will open this?
Well, I got a couple of those,
Yeah.
that I just wanted to have them for no other reason than to have them.
Yeah.
Like, there's just, because I know what they taste like, and I don't think they're all that impressive.
So you have sampled them, but they're just like a rare
Elsewhere.
find.
Yeah, they're just rare bottles that I'm like, like I said, the general thing is I just don't pay the secondary price.
I mean, it is.
Like, it's just my rule. I have like this code and all.
I
this
like that
stuff,
rule.
and I'm like, no, I won't pay it. There's a couple code busters where it's like, if you did find a pappy for $300, which you never would,
Right.
They're always $1,500 and $1,600. If you found it for $300, okay, I would break the code for that one because it would be so impossible to find.
It's just a little above.
Yeah, but
retail.
but it's like there's only like 4 or 5 code busters.
My thing with liquors, wines, and everything like that, and I think we all will be in agreement on this, which probably not, but I'm putting that in your heads to begin with. But once you get over a certain price point of a wine or a liquor, it's not going to change too much.
No.
It's basically just, it's kind of like a hierarchy. You hear Pappy, you can't get Pappy, so you want Pappy. You'll pay billions of dollars. But is it better than like a Four Roses single barrel strength? Not in my opinion. And that's a $50-$60 bottle
Yeah,
of
they're
liquor.
probably very comparable if you really just break it down.
Yeah, but it's like you're not going to. I mean, now from $5, $2 Chuck or whatever it is.
$2 Chuck.
Yeah,
liquor.
$2 Chuck. No, the wine, $2 Chuck wine.
I was gonna say they've gone liquor now in the $2 Chuck.
Trader Joe does it all.
That's right.
No, but when you go, a $2 Chuck wine up until you get, different levels of that tastes different until you get to what a bottle of Opus, and it's like, oh yeah, this is way different.
Yeah, there's probably quite a bit. We're big wine people too.
Yeah. Oh, love it.
Yeah, we love the wine. No, there's a difference. There is a point where it's like the whole pappy thing is kind of, that's a little
hyperinflated.
It's a bit high. Now it lives up. Some years
it's
really
good.
live up to it.
No, it's good,
but not at $3,000 a bottle.
No.
But I mean, is it better than most? Yeah, it's better. Like George T. Stagg is better than most. I mean, it's to me like the best. That's my favorite.
I've never had it. You should share it with us one day.
I will.
Yeah.
And that one is in Pappy 15, but if you taste like 10 or 12 year Pappy, they're really good. But there are other bourbons that compete.
Sure.
That you can, but they're not. It's really it's like they're not all created equal. Some are these new guys that are coming along that are like, charging $70 for a bottle of 4-year-old bourbon, and it's not that good, but the bottle is really cool looking, and people buy into it.
Yeah.
No.
That's like the vodka bottle when it was the skull. Remember? Everyone's like, I got to have that bottle.
Yeah.
You're just buying the bottle, and the vodka's trash.
Yeah, I did buy that.
I bought it. It's this is a cool bottle.
I still have that bottle.
Do you?
Of course, both y'all did. Of course you did.
I just think at Halloween it's nice to have out,
Yeah. I like to put my fingers in the eye holes. Just walk around with it. Yeah.
So I just put old-fashioned mix in it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So
Repurpose.
Then face is brown.
Yeah.
Just pee in it. You just
and then it just kind of lasts.
It's my bedpan.
So if that bottle ends up being worth more than $300, you're going to have to let me know.
I will, but I'll never sell it.
No.
Because then you have to find people anyways, and that's already hard enough.
Do you like that brand?
Yeah. I mean, I like anything that's old like that.
Yeah.
Like anything that's like...
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. I don't know what year it is.
They're different now than it would be. I mean, now it's like it's not the same now as it was.
Right.
Now it's like... It's
like,
almost kind of rot.
If that's from the same time as that Jack bottle, which I discovered the one I got, I think is 71, 72. I mean, you're looking at a 50-year-old bottle of whiskey the bottle is completely sealed, has the tags on it and everything. It's crazy, man.
It has the weird plastic wrap that's all torn up now.
Well, that was just on the outside box, but like on the bottle, the label across the lid is intact and everything. Yeah. Pretty cool.
I haven't seen a bottle of Chivas in a long time.
Well, Chivas you can get. It's just common. It's like the common.
Yeah.
It's like the bottom shelf scotch at the bars is Chivas always. But not back in the day when it's still blended, but it's probably a, I don't know if it had an age statement on it or not.
It's probably higher class 50 years ago.
Yeah, it definitely was. Because everything, people weren't drinking it as much. So there was a big surplus of it all.
I have a 25, when I worked in the restaurant, they used to have contests, and the restaurant I worked in at the time had gotten shipped a bottle of 25-year-old Glenlivet by mistake.
Yeah, my dad
so the manager
loves that
was like, "Hey, let's do a contest." So I won the contest, and I have this box with this bottle of 25-year-old Glenlivet. It's like $1,000 bottle of liquor now.
Wow!
But I don't. It's the thing. I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
I took it to the.
Do you
final,
still have it?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I took it to the Final Four a few years ago when Kentucky went and played in Indianapolis, and if they'd won, I was going to open it up then. Of course, they got beat, which sucked.
And you've never opened it?
I've never opened it.
Wow!
It's still sitting in my liquor cabinet.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How long ago did you get that?
Oh, it's been years.
Yeah.
Years and years. Yeah.
Sometimes they're like that. Some sealed ones like that. Yeah. I got one, an old Fitzgerald from 1967.
The old Ryan Fitzgerald.
But it was a 59. It was an 8-year whiskey, so it was distilled in 59. Which that's the original Pappy was Old Fitzgerald.
Oh, really?
So that was made by the guy. It was made by Julian Van Winkle. So then he made Old Fitz at this other distillery, and it's super sought after and sealed. And I traded some guy a bottle he really shouldn't have traded.
A couple milking cows.
Did you horse trade him on?
It was trade him a small block Chevy.
I did almost feel guilty about it, but I don't really that much.
You can open that one.
I have to at some point because it's like it's rated so high.
Yeah.
That it's I gotta know.
Yeah, like see, I just exclusively collect Jack Daniel's bottles, and my wife's always like, "What are you gonna do with all these bottles? Like, are you just gonna drink them one day, or are you gonna sell them?" I'm like, I don't know yet.
I might beat you over the head with them if you keep
But a
asking
lot of them
questions.
I've already tried, so I'm like, I don't need to try it. You know?
You just want to look at them
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. Like,
That's how we have it.
It's like
set
you,
up.
honey. I just want to look at you sometimes.
Right. I mean, it's really this. They're liquor and women.
Yeah.
Our wives, and I can stare at both for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my wife specifically.
Exactly.
She's listening.
we all stare at
We knew
your
that.
wife sometimes.
Yeah.
I know that's a normal thing.
Yeah.
I don't blame anybody.
She smells a lot different when she's awake.
Not creepy at all.
So, our guest is Ben Glover. Now, you're from Loveland, Colorado.
Yeah.
Did I
look
say
at
it
you.
right? Colorado.
Colorado.
Rado.
You did say it right.
Yeah.
You got to get the rado in there.
Yeah,
man.
I used to get chastised for that.
I can't
Colorado.
say it. I can't say Colorado.
Colorado.
That's how you have to say it.
That's
But
In
in
Nevada's
Texas,
the
it's
same.
just Colorado.
Nevada.
And Nevada's the same
Yeah,
way.
it's not Nevada.
They're like
I say Nevada.
You can't church it up, bro. You
No,
can't
you have to
go
say Colorado.
You can't go cursive with it.
But there's
Nevada.
enough people that have moved into Colorado.
Oh,
You don't say
I
it
was going to
right.
say there's enough people who moved into Colorado that they say this Rado thing sometimes, and they've been there a long time, and it's like, haven't you learned? Like, are you just changing the whole thing from the inside out? 'Cause I don't like this.
Yeah.
You know. But
Where is Loveland? Is it near Denver?
It's like an hour north,
Hour north.
right directly up
Yeah.
north,
Gotcha.
south of Cheyenne by an hour.
Yeah.
So they call
Love-
that the Front Range.
I love Colorado. Go out there and go out used to go out quite a bit. I haven't been out in a little bit, but we go to
love
Denver, Aspen. We played out there a lot. It's a beautiful
Yeah, you
state.
had a lot of fun in Aspen, didn't you?
Yeah, we talked about that on
With Jared.
a podcast with Jared Allen. We took Jared and a couple of his Kansas City Chiefs teammates to Aspen, and they broke the town.
They were never invited back.
They
Well, I mean, there was already Chiefs in Colorado territory. That's already,
yeah.
it's already in Bronco territory.
Oh, yeah.
Me as a big Bronco
Yeah.
fan, that's the part that bothered me more than anything.
Yeah.
You are a big
Yeah.
Bronco fan, yeah?
It's the whole Jared Allen and
You got your Bronco hat on today.
No, but if he'd have played for us, I'd have been great with him. I think he almost did. Maybe.
He's so big.
So big.
I mean, they all are, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, then I'm talking about that because I'm real big myself.
You
Yeah,
are big.
you're
5'10",
giant.
you know.
I noticed how big you were coming down the hallway.
All 175.
All
Yeah.
175. Yeah. What's going on, dude?
I mean,
What you been working on?
gosh, always something. Always a bunch of different things at once, you know. It's like, and that question is always like the hardest question when somebody asks you that. Even like anybody could ask us that, and then the first thing I think is always, well, what have I been working on? For real, 'cause it's
sometimes you get so inundated with everything, it almost just feels like just normal life.
right.
But then if you step away, the 30,000 feet approach, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I've been really busy and just didn't even realize
it's
it.
just always that, yeah. And sometimes you get in the one-off arena, which is most of it anymore, where it's like, especially as a writer, but as a producer too, it's like, it's like we're working on one song for this person or one song for this person, and we're doing them all at once. And so you're like, well, I'm kind of working on a bunch of these things. They're all due at a different time. So, but I mean, the main things I'm working on. I'm producing Lee Brice again. This
You produced the Hey World album with Lee,
Yeah.
and Hard to Love too, right?
I didn't
No,
produce that.
You
I
weren't on
just,
Hard to Love.
I just
He
wrote.
just wrote
I
Hard
just
to
wrote
Love.
the
You wrote
song
Hard to Love.
God, you're the
and sang
publisher
on
on
it.
it.
And
Do you realize how long ago that was?
a long time ago. It's just like that's
It's
crazy.
like 10 Lee Brices ago.
No,
Lee
we've always
Brices
kind of
ago.
been. I've done some kind of work, whether it was writing or singing or something on most of those records since that Hard to Love record until the last one, and then I produced it.
Yeah.
And then this one too is the same. And so, so that's been a big one, because that one is a full project. And then I work with a guy named David Crowder. He just goes by Crowder.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're doing his. We've been doing his records for the past few, and he's awesome. A lot of fun to work.
Contemporary Christian artist, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so he's just a lot of fun and great, just a great hang and everything. And so we're working on some stuff for him and a record for him too.
That's
And
very cool. Dude's got a cool voice.
He does, man. He's a great dude.
It's almost a blue. It's weird. He's like it sounds a little old, whiny old man. That sounded terrible, but it's got a cool thing to it.
You just know it's him.
Yeah,
like, right away
it's
when
very
you hear
distinctive.
him, you're like, it's like okay. And then he's awesome. He's got this giant beard. You know, it's like he's the one. You look at him, and you go. The one question you never ask is, how old is this guy? Because and I don't know if it's intentional. The guy's so smart, he probably was, but it's like, he could be 30, he could be 25, he could be 50, but he's got this ZZ Top beard.
Yeah.
Where you're like, it doesn't matter how old you are because you're ageless now.
Yeah.
You've branded yourself into an ageless artist, which is like the most genius thing you could probably ever do.
He's like the opposite of Billy Montana. Right?
Yeah. Well, Billy's been the same age forever, though.
Yeah.
He's always been old.
Yeah.
Like ancient.
He came out Benjamin Button, I think.
I'm pretty sure Billy looks
he's
the
getting
same.
Younger?
No, he's getting older, but he came out old.
Well, that's different than Benjamin. Oh, wait.
No,
so it's
Benjamin Button came out old and then he got young.
So Billy's
Except Billy started old, stayed old, and he's just going to get older.
He is going to turn into that dish of hard candy.
Yeah.
When he won't die, he'll just one day he'll be hard candy.
He'll just morph into a
just fossilized
dish of hard candies.
Just pure, like petrified wood kind of thing.
Really hard, old, crusty that stick together.
Just there it is.
Hard candy.
He'll just turn into salt like Lot's wife. Just look behind him one day and just there he is.
Speaking of Lee Brice, did you do like music when you were growing up? Was that your thing? Was it? I know you've had a background in Christian. Was it with a coming up singing in church thing? Because I know we all did that.
Yeah, it was kind of. I mean, I grew up in the I was born in the 70s, which I shouldn't say.
Know how that feels, bro?
Right. Fun, right?
Yeah.
It's like it just feels so long ago. But
because it was.
Yeah. That's the thing, right?
Shut up.
But 90s kid.
I'm 83. I'm not too far behind you.
Right. No, you're not. That's right. That's my wife too. So it's like you grow up 90s kids. So like that era of music
was amazing.
Grunge.
Was
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I liked it. I really liked it all.
No.
But I was in Colorado, so it was like we liked
just John Denver.
My wife is from West Virginia, and she's the one who likes John Denver.
Country Roads, though. That's the only song they like. My wife's from West Virginia, too.
But that's all that matters, right?
Country Road.
I mean, gosh.
Don't you have to, if your wife is from West Virginia, you're from Colorado, don't you have to name your kid John Denver?
If we had,
John
true.
Denver Glover.
John Denver Glover.
What if we had a girl?
Her name would be John Denver Glover.
That's true.
Janita.
I did almost name my
Juanita.
I did almost name my girl dog Michael Jackson. So that is true. Could go the other way around.
Okay.
But then,
what?
Yeah, I thought that would be funny.
Michael Jackson.
Girl, if we had a couple French bulldogs, and we were like, what if one of them's name was Michael Jackson? And my wife was like, but that's your dog is. But she's like, that's hard to say, and it's a girl. And I was like, I know, that's what makes it funny. Michael Jackson, come back here.
Does your dog like younger dogs?
Oh. She's bad.
No. What was I saying?
That was funny.
Oh, grunge,
exactly.
90s. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I grew up in church for sure. My dad was he was a school teacher. He was a high school teacher and a coach for most of my young life, and then he retired from that after like 30 years and became a pastor. But he'd been like an elder in the church, small church. So I grew up, and they gave me a lot of freedom to do specials or whatever you want to call it. And it was just like, because it was a small church. And so
were you Pentecostal?
No, I was not. I was not one of those snake charmers. I was not. No offense to the Pentecostals out there, but no, I was not. No, we just. I grew up in church, and I loved. Back then, I didn't really feel like there was. I just liked all kinds of music, and I was young enough to where I felt like I don't know. I didn't see like one was better or worse than the other. And there was a lot of Christian music that I just grew up around because it was just what was accessible. That, or it could have been, Nirvana, or like I said, it was the 90s era of great. You were either a 90s pop person or a rock person, and I definitely was in the rock thing because the pop stuff was super bubblegum stuff for me then. But it was like, you had that. There was some country. There was there's Christian music. I just grew up on tons of music. So it's like I wanted to do that. From this, I'd heard this guy, Keith Green. He was this Christian singer from the 70s. And my parents would play him in the car. And I remember being like, my gosh, I love this guy. People would hear him now and they'd be like, what in the world? But he was real influential, and Billy Joel and I loved all of that. Just singer-songwriters, things like that. And so then I knew I wanted to do music from the time I was like 8, really.
Yeah. When did you come to Nashville?
I was 21. I got a record deal before I moved, and they said part of it, which was funny because it was in this building.
Nice.
With Myrrh Records, before they merged with Word. And I got signed there, and then they said, you have to move because this is before MP3s or anything. I did some independent record where I snail mailed it to people.
Yeah.
And all these A&R people, I just snail mailed it. And I got responses, which was funny. And then I got signed, the whole story about that was nuts, and just, I was going to be an artist because that's all I knew really was like, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then, didn't really think about writing or producing as an option because I guess you
just probably didn't know.
Yeah. I knew it because it's like I was a big Wayne Kirkpatrick fan, and so I knew that artists wrote with other people or however, or cut songs that were outside. I knew that, but it was also like, it just felt like I was, I don't know, it was this simple sort of thing where you just go, well, I'm supposed to perform. So, whatever it is, because that's what people do.
A lot of times you don't see the other side of it. You see that guy up there, and you don't know that he wrote the song, or he wrote songs, like you said, for other artists.
Right. You didn't know. I didn't know what it looked like.
Yeah.
So I think if you're young,
or what a producer does.
Yeah, you don't know. So you're like, well, I don't know. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And then I did the artist thing for 5 minutes, and I just didn't love the road. It's fine, but one of some pretty rough tours early on, which every young artist does. But I was like a pre-show guy on an arena tour, and that was tough because I'm like playing with the lights up, and nobody knows who
the
I
white
am.
That
was the worst. You coming out, and
so you got signed in Colorado, and then
had to move
to Nashville.
Yeah. So then it kind of flopped, and then after that it was like, I think I had a song get to about 15, and it was like, then the labels merged and everybody got fired. Those are things you never.
It's good times.
You just never know anything. So then it was like, well, we're gonna drop you, and then it's like I'm newly married, and I'm going, well, crap, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah.
Because I thought this thing was good. So I'm like working.
And you just moved here, right?
Yeah, it was like a couple years I was here doing doing touring and everything, and all of a sudden I get married and get dropped, and then I end up working at Brugger's Bagels.
Oh, nice.
In Brentwood. Brugger's Bagels in Brentwood. And it's still there. And I worked there because I was like, well, I need to be able to do something. I can get up early and then do music in the afternoon if I need to. And, oh, God, I was serving all these artists that I toured with. And I'm like, got my hairnet on and my whatever hat, and cutting bagels. What kind of cream cheese you want in a bagel? And it was so humiliating.
Did they recognize you?
Oh, yeah. It was just like, hey, man, how's it going? Well, obviously not well. I'm here.
You want schmear on your bagel?
Right. Yeah. What kind do you want? Honey walnut? You want peppered bacon with that? It's like, it was the worst.
Oh, shit.
So humbling. And then I mowed lawns for a second, and then all of a sudden it was like I had a song that I wrote by myself that I was thinking I would try and get another deal or something.
Yeah.
And, once back then it was like, you're dropped, you're kind of you're pariah.
You're tarnished.
Yeah, you are especially if you're young and dropped. It's like they're like, nah. And so, but I had a good friend of mine. I mean, my closest friend, Brad O'Donnell. He was the guy who signed me, and he started calling me for songs, and then a couple other guys did. I remember Jeff Moore called me from Jeff Moore in the Distance, and he called me early on when he really didn't have to. And I think he was trying to help me out. And I don't think I realized at the time. I think, well, maybe this guy likes my songs, but I think he's just trying to help me out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it was like a couple of things got cut, and I was like, well, maybe this songwriting thing is kind of fun because I can stay here and I don't have to like get on stage, and I don't mind being on stage every now and then, but it's like
still be musical.
Yeah. So then it was just that, and then kind of just did that, and then then country music kind of came in there weirdly.
How did that happen? When did that happen?
Well, it was like early. I mean, early 2000s. It was when Kyle and I met.
Yeah, like 2004, 2005.
Yeah, because we had met through Sean Schenkel, and we went to see some concert of some artist that Sean was working with, and he introduced me to Kyle. And at the time, Kyle was kind of writing pop music, and then Sean was like, "Why don't I?" Like, Sean was always pretty good business guy, because he signed. He just had an eye for stuff, because he got Kyle, and he signed Kyle over at Curb, and then he signed me at Warner Chapel, L.A., even though we were here, and then he signed Joy Williams from Civil Wars and the King and Country guys, all at the same time. So all of us, and so then. We all kind of were there under Judy Stakey at Warner, and then Kyle's over here. And then it just sort of, we were writing some pop stuff, and we were writing some, I mean, I did a thing with the Backstreet Boys, and did some stuff with them, and then did some stuff and then Sean was working with Hillary Duff, and then it was like, Kyle was over here, he did the Eighth World Wonder song.
Yeah, Kimberly Locke.
It was right. Yeah. It was just random, and I was writing Christian music and some pop music here, and then I was like, well, we should write some country songs. Kyle was saying it to me. So
of course he did.
So Kyle.
Yeah, and I was like, okay.
But then he was teaming up with Lee at the time, and you got quickly pulled into that fold. And
yeah, and it was like a camp we did down in Rosemary. It was the first one. It was since 2006.
Yeah.
I still have the dog tag from it.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's when I met Lee, and then we all kind of have been, I mean, really all of us have been friends, and you guys included. It's like we've all kind of had this community sense.
Yeah, pretty
much. And
it's
weird because it's like everybody has a little different, does a little different thing, and I'm a weird hybrid guy where I kind of hover in two worlds, and it's strange, but it's always kind of worked. And it's.
Do you remember? One of the first times I went to Rosemary with you guys, it may have been the first time. We couldn't get into Joe's house because it was they hadn't cleaned it, or it was occupied, and we had to stay at another house. Do you still have this puppet? There was a puppet. Do you remember this puppet that was a boxing puppet?
I have the video.
Yeah, and you had like a flute or something. And shit went crazy for a little while. I saw it. I don't know. I saw the picture not too long ago.
Dude, I have the video of that somewhere.
It was amazing. It still haunts me.
It's like a Peter Pan doll. I think
it was weird. It was like a boxing
Peter Pan.
Yeah. And he was playing a flute, and we were all just in this house, and he's just walking around with his puppet on one end and a flute on the other. I'm like, what the hell have I got myself into here, boss?
Very Ben.
But those trips were great.
They were great and crazy.
And we would go to Rosemary Beach, take writers' retreats, and we'd take an artist and a bunch of writers, and we would just write songs and go to the beach and come back and swim and write songs and make food and fellowship. And some great songs came out of
They really did.
Hard to Love came out of that with you and
a lot of great songs did. A lot of cuts came out of that thing. I mean, especially when Joe had the house, it was great. And it was just I did a ton of them. I mean, Kyle did all of them, I think.
Oh yeah.
I mean, maybe
he
all
made
of
sure
them.
he weaseled himself into every Rosemary he could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He would not be invited and just show up somewhere.
Well, he somehow convinced Lee, especially, like, hey, you know what? Let me do you a favor. Let me organize this.
Right.
And then, of course, he had the best room in the house.
Yeah.
And whoever he
So
wanted to go
funny.
out there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was always like that. Then we would play. Then we would go down and play. We would get toward the later ones. We would get Lee ended up with a couple houses on a couple of them. We ended up with a couple houses.
Yeah.
And then we're like, one of them was like for record. I mean, it's kind of nuts. And then we're golf carting between them. And then part of this thing was, well, we have to play this show.
Yeah.
In the main round there, which I was like, well, this isn't a bad deal. I was like,
Yeah,
well, maybe
they kind of figure out a way,
more
like,
to it.
if we play a show, we'll get a free house out of it.
Of course, Lee
and the
made one
is
house
like
recording studio.
$10,000 rental. So I was like, yeah, we'll play a free show, so we don't have to pay $10,000 for a rental house. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lord.
that was great. So we had good times, though, for sure. It was awesome. I love those things, man.
So I saw a cool article that was from like 2 or 3 years ago that you've now eclipsed the 40 number one mark.
I have.
What?
And that was like years ago. So like pretty cool, man. Look at you.
Man,
That's ridiculous.
It is cool. It was a cool thing.
You are not that talented.
I know. I've been
Such a
faking it
poser.
for so long. That was kind of like that was a cool thing. Just because it's like you just don't. That's not something you ever. I mean, I didn't think I was going to be doing the writing and producing thing. I'm so glad I went that way and not the artist thing because I'm just not designed for that. But like, I didn't. You don't think about that, and you just hope you stick around.
Sure.
Like it's always to compare it to the NFL, where it's like you go, well, the average running back, even if you're great,
Yeah.
but you got 5-6 years,
Yeah, or 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm saying if you're great, maybe 5-6, but
Yeah.
if you're quarterback, you might last 10. If you're an exceptional quarterback,
Yeah, if your spleen doesn't rupture. Yeah.
right? It's like, so to stick around, the longer you do it, it's like you start going, okay, well, I've at least made it to quarterback land where I've stuck around like a quarterback can, but just, it's just, I've never lost sight of like how that could just go away, and how I'm grateful that I'm still doing it. But yeah, that hitting that number was crazy. But the funniest thing was that when it happened, Ashley Gorley sent me a text and congratulated me. He's like, "Hey man, congratulations on the 40 number ones." And I sent him back a text. I said, "Are you trolling me?" It's true. I really did. He just laughed because this guy's got 70 now.
Yeah, I think he's eclipsed 70.
Like, are you trolling me?
Unreal. Well, it's well deserved, man. You're a talented dude. I remember hearing you sing. I was at Matt McClure's, and you were working with him and maybe him and Kyle on some stuff, and I heard something you did, and I'm like, you're just a talented cat and a hell of a writer and great ear for music, and you've written some of my favorite songs. I mean, especially Hard to Love. When I heard that song, I'm like, I could have written that, and I wouldn't have done it as well.
No,
or probably I wouldn't have written it. I'm just not that good, but it's just it's so catchy. It's got that cool vibe to it. It's got that timeless petty thing to it.
And that was the thing when we did that, that was kind of the deal. But it was into that sort of petty thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you throw Billy Montana in there, and
he's not going to argue with Tom Petty ever. Billy will never argue with that.
No, he was all in.
It's so true. But that was fun. I mean, that was.
What other songs came out of that you can remember? Out of the Rosemary trips.
Well, there was one that was called "Love Don't Run."
Don't Run
was a Steve Holy song.
Yeah,
and then we didn't write "I Cannot Run You Down There," but we wrote that on another retreat.
Yeah,
and then some other ones that we've done with Lee have come down there. Like we wrote a song on there's been a couple of others that haven't been singles that have been cut that were from that down there. I think
there's definitely a handful of those.
Yeah, like what did we cut? What was the Sons and Daughters song was down there? That was on the last record, and then the one from the Dan's record. What was it called?
I Do Dance?
I think it's the first track. Right? No, it's the first track. Oh, no.
I see the wheels turning.
I can't remember.
It's Cog. It's going.
I would have to pull it up.
Yeah.
Right. I can't remember. It's like it is earlier in the.
He's weighed down with all the 40 number ones.
Yeah. It's hard to keep track.
See the Dove Awards coming out of his ears right now.
Little birds flying out of there.
Oh man, no, that was. It's been cool though. I would definitely. Now, I hope I can stick around to get to 50 because I mean that would be fun.
Yeah. What are you up to now? Come on, you know the answer. Don't play games.
It's like 40. I think it's 43, maybe.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's 43 or 4 or 2.
Okay.
Genuinely, I don't, because there are some ones where it's like those were just written songs. The 40. There's some that are just producer only ones, but there aren't as many of those because I usually end up writing on most of the stuff I produce. But like, so sometimes I'll kind of go, well, I can't remember.
Yeah,
one. Like of
like all of Lee's last album, you just produced. You didn't.
I just wrote one song.
Yeah,
and it wasn't a single.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just produced that.
Produced one of them girls, which was pretty awesome.
Yep.
The only song to win Song of the Year in all 3 performance awards. So that's pretty cool.
How did you start to produce, Lee? I don't even know this story. I don't know how this came about. I mean, I know we've all traveled in the same circles for many, many years, and it was bound to happen just because of your style. I mean, I would think like you and Lee would fit together really well, but I don't know how that came about.
It was pretty organic. I mean, it really was, because it was like over. I mean, it was the course of like, I don't know, a lot of years, I think, where, gosh, I could think about it and how it actually happened. But it was like, well, we all kind of were together. And, you know, Lee's a pretty loyal guy to where he keeps his community pretty tight, you know, and it's like he has people that come and go in his life, but like there's been a core group of people that have been kind of consistent, you know, some more than others. And honestly, I wouldn't even say I was in that main group as much as I just was present a lot. And then we had like a good music synergy there. And I think he liked that I was probably a little outside of his wheelhouse enough.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, I just have a different background. You know, it's like bring a lot of different styles into the fold. And so I think there was that. And so when we would write, it just would kind of manifest itself. And then Kyle, who was always just the guy who was like, "Wait, man, you should do this." You know, he was always part of that.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like where he'd say, you know, and he'd tell Lee, you know, I think he was big on the idea of us doing it and working together. And then finally, I think before this last one, we had done a couple retreats, and it just was going there. And it was actually this one time. Maybe I should say this story or not. I think he probably wouldn't mind.
Just do it.
So it's like one night. It's this whole long day of we're riding in Florida, and it's like you were there. I mean, you were there, but you didn't see this all go down. Were you at this one? I don't think you were.
I have no idea.
So it's like he's basically almost decided, and I really never pushed it because I just was like, if this ever happens, it'll be cool because he's one of the most talented guys ever been.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you salivate as a producer. You're just like, that'd be amazing to record that guy
for sure,
for real, because they've done it a bunch of times, you know, recording their demos and whatnot. But like, so. We're working. It was like him. And speaking of hard candy, Billy, we're working outside, and I'm like sitting at the computer, and it's like 10 o'clock at night, and it's like the hottest week ever in Florida, and it was hot all day. And I was sitting by the pool because I have to sit outside because I've got to smoke cigars while I work.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be in Florida, I want to sit outside, even if I'm in front of the computer and I want to smoke. I want to chain smoke cigars.
You had a cigar with the flute and the puppet too. I remember that.
I'm sure I did.
Yeah.
And so like the whole day I'm doing this, and I'm in a tank top. I'm getting bit by tsetse flies. Not really tsetse flies. I just call them that. But those big freaking horse flies.
Yeah.
And I'm just, it's just, and I didn't sleep a whole lot the night before because we just don't. I mean, people think, and you all know this. We work pretty hard.
Constantly.
I mean, we go down to the beach.
Especially when you're with Lee.
Yeah, I mean, people will say, like, you guys get to go write songs in Florida. I'm like, yeah, well, you want to come? Because we don't really see the outside much. We go to the beach and then we go back. And it's
you
like...
go to the beach for sunset and then you come back and keep working.
That's it.
Yeah. And it's like you're in bed and he has a motor. I've never seen anybody who has a motor like that.
No, you won't.
Like, I was like, man, he should play defensive line. He should play defensive end and just go after the quarterback. Because he would probably get his sack. He'd probably get 12 sacks a game with a motor like that.
Yeah.
But so we're down there, and Lee is like, the later the night goes, the more he comes alive.
Yeah.
He did definitely get stronger.
So we're writing some song we've been working all day, and I was tired and just, I was done. And so was Billy. And Lee's like, but man, dude, and it's this thing. And so I got so pissed. I just stood up and I just let him have it. I just yelled at him and told him a bunch of stuff. And and Billy's just sitting there looking like his white as a ghost, And there's like a pool right by there, right with this little fountain in the center. And so I was like, this is, I was like, I shouldn't have said any of this stuff. This is crazy. And then, so I was like, I gotta go. So I left. And Billy's like, well, you just got fired before I even really been hired. And so I was like, probably. Yeah. And so I walk around the pool, and then all of a sudden I see Lee coming at me. I'm on the other side of the pool. I see him coming at me like a buffalo.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, I swear the guy walked on water. I think he took one step. I think there was one step he took on the water and skipped across. And then I was quickly there on the other side. And then I was like, I am actually going to die. Because I'm 5'10". I'm 5'10", 175, and Lee is not that.
He's twice that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I break me with his hand, and he gets up to me and he comes right up, and I stood there and I was like, all right, do what you got to do. I deserve it.
I deserve it.
And he goes, we start laughing. And the whole thing was so funny. And just because we just realized it was like, well, we're both tired and everything.
Yeah.
And you got that it was not. And so then it was like days later, he's like, oh, you perused my record. And I was like, well, maybe it was because of that. I have no idea that he just liked the fact that I got feisty with him. But
sometimes people like that need a bit of balance and grounding and a pushback.
Well, someone like Lee, there's so many yes men in his world.
Yeah.
And you get someone who actually challenges him on an idea. And if you know Lee, like we know Lee, you can challenge him on an idea and he'll shut you down.
Oh, yeah.
But then you don't know it, but he's secretly thinking about what you said. Yeah. And he'll marinate on it. And all of a sudden he'll come back and like, oh, you know what? Yeah, Ben, your idea was pretty good, but I thought about it and I made it better.
Totally. He does it. Whatever gets it there. And it's like, most of the time he does. I mean, he does make it great. So it's like that whole thing. I think he must have, maybe it was coincidence, but that was, so it just kind of made sense. And
he's not one to back down from a challenge.
No.
Yeah.
So I think it was like,
he's like, I'm going to break Ben. Watch this.
Right. And I was like, I'm here for it. But I think he was a little surprised because, it's like, I'm not really the type that does that, but then, so ever since, we've been doing it, and then the last one went so well. It was like, I mean,
kind of well,
yeah. It was great, and it was weird because it was during COVID, so we had to do some of it. We had to do some of it that was like early on. We did it before when we could access studios, but then they shut down, so we did it like farm style, which I do half records that way anyways, where you're sending stuff out and it's not, I have a studio, so it's like I have people come there or whatever, but that worked. And then it just kind of was like, well, let's not mess up something that's working. So we're doing it some more. But it's a good relationship, and it was a good iron sharpens iron kind of thing, and nice. We dig it.
And you're right in the middle of producing the new record right now.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about this record.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good ones. There's some good ones.
I know one really good one on that record.
Did you write it?
I did write it.
It's definitely your favorite.
I think that's not on there anymore.
Yeah, I went out and saw the whiteboard the other day. I'm going to go out once or twice a week just to write my stuff back on the whiteboard again.
Yeah, that whiteboard. Yeah, I mean, half the time I'm like, I can't keep track. I'm just like, but that's how the last one was. It was all over. He had different songs this way till the end. It was
when you get somebody like that, somebody like you, and there's so many good songs in this town, and you guys are such good writers, and you have such good writers around you. I mean, trying to narrow that pool of songs down to the 10, 12, 15 is
it's tough.
It's unreal. People don't realize how tough that is, especially when you get an established artist who has even more to pull from.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're doing,
they send you great stuff.
Then, when
he's writing all the time, and then people are sending him songs all the time.
And Lee is a fabulous songwriter.
He's a great writer.
He's one of the best writers I know.
He's great.
He's musical. He's got lyrics. It's fabulous. I don't know how you guys do it.
Well, honestly, with him, it's kind of fascinating for me because I'm usually always involved in the writing and the producing. I mean, anymore, it's like kind of both. And for these records, I've done more producing and just an occasional writing. Some of that's because of his schedule. Mm-hmm. And like, if the whimsy strikes that guy at 11 p.m. at night, he's out at the farm. And like, that, I think he just knows I'm probably not going to be worth calling because I'm probably, it's like I think I texted you at like 9 o'clock last night, and I didn't give it a response till this morning. I'm up late, but I kind of don't really get on my phone much after a certain time. But it's more just like I'm not the guy for that. I'm not the guy for like the, hey, call me at the last minute. And, unless it's like, sometimes it makes sense, but it's like, so I think some of the way he writes on the road a lot like that kind of stuff, it's just sort of worked out that way. And for me, it's always like, I don't ever care. I mean, I like being on writing a song, I always have just said I like to be I want to be part of big songs. I really don't care how. And that's always been my mindset because I'm just like, man, whatever makes a song great and whatever we got to do to get the greatest songs. Yeah. And so on that last record and this one too.
Well, when you've had 40 number ones, you can do that. You can take that mindset, right?
Well, yeah, but I think I've always had this mindset where it's like, if I were to tell an artist, because every writer, and we've all done it. Sometimes sometimes we actually just think we've written something great. I think I've been objective for the most part. Definitely in my later years, I've been pretty objective, but like, and I think it does help. I mean, it does help that I'm not as concerned about where like, oh my gosh, I got to have this next one. But it's like, I also think if I sell an artist on the idea that this song is a hit, oh my gosh, that we wrote, this is a hit, man. And then he gets he or she, whatever, gets into it, and it's like they fight for it, and then it goes to 20.
Right.
Well, then it's like you lose credibility, and I would rather go, hey, let's cut. Like, we hear this song, like Girls, we knocked off one of our own songs to cut Girls because he wrote it the night before.
Literally the night before.
I mean, I saw it when a guy got up for the tracking session was at 10, and I got up. And I see this thing on my phone, and it's from 4 a.m.
I remember that. I was there for that tracking session, and you and Kyle were so pissed. You're like, what is this brand new song you're bringing in last minute? Right. This wasn't part of the plan.
But I heard it on the way, and I was like, oh, this is a smash. And I remember calling Kyle and saying, have you listened to Girls yet? And he's like, no. Is it good? I was hoping it wasn't going to be good because the plan changes. It's a pain when it changes.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's a smash.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the first single. And there was another song in there that we thought was the leading contender at the moment. And I was like, I heard that, and I was like, I knew that was the first single. I knew it. I was like, because I played it for my wife, and then my assistant, Sarah, and Laurel, the A&R at the time.
Yeah.
All three of those girls on the same day said, I feel like that girl's me.
Yeah.
And like, you know that when that happens, it's kind of like, well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
There's
I remember
magic in that.
Right after you guys tracked it, like when it was pretty much done, I think you were still doing some overdubs or something, but Lee was sitting next to me and I looked at him and I was like, and I didn't know what the song was going to do, right? But I looked at him, I was like, man, I think this song's, I was like, this is going to be a big song for you. Yeah. And he looked at me and he kind of gave me that little wink, you know?
Yeah.
Like he already knew what was going to happen and I didn't. But I was like, yeah, it might go number one, not knowing like it was going to be probably one of the biggest songs of his career, if not the.
I mean,
it's now, you know,
crazy. It's just that how fast that thing got up there, and then how just it.
But you cut the shit out of it, Ben.
Well, it was fun. It was easy. I mean, you get a good song like that. And that's the thing. So it's like you can't get in the way of that. So if somebody else writes some great song like that, and you can't
stop the bad stuff.
No. You know, but we did. We got 12 to 1,300 pitches for that record, and I bet 1,100 of them were really good.
Yeah.
Which just tells you, and we cut like 2 or 3 outside.
It just shows you Nashville. It's the power of
talent.
It's the power of this town, man.
Yeah, it's tough. Every got hundreds of writers writing thousands of songs, and just a dozen slots per album, you know.
So true.
And I'm just happy to have 4 or 5 on this record, man. I really am.
Look at him. He already went from 1 to 4 to 5.
Well, you went from 40 to 43.
Did he change the whiteboard while we were talking?
I did.
Like,
I have
I figured he did.
access.
Yeah, I was going to say. It's one of those things.
David brings his own dry erase markers.
That's right.
Yeah. What else? You're doing Crowder?
Yeah, those are the 2 main ones, and then there's some you know, just your, I don't want to say your random one-offs. That sounds terrible, but you know, one song for this person here, one song here, and just, you know, the rights in between. Yeah. And I don't have time as much right now to just do a write for a pitch, because I just don't have time to do it because of these other things are always there, you know. So it's like, but I mean, those take up the most, and you know, I want to make sure I give enough time for, you know, when you're involved on a big project, it's like you don't want to take too many things, because then you know, something comes up or something at the end, if we need this now, or we need this because this happened here, so we try to kind of keep that. I try to keep it open as much as I can. Not fill my schedule up with, because I'm, you know, like today I was just in the basement trolling, like a studio troll,
going to the dump.
Yeah,
running what was it? The 3000,
the Plowhard 3000,
the Plowhard 3000.
Plowhard 3000.
It's a feat of engineering. It really is.
Did you? I sent it to you today.
Yeah, he showed it to
the
me.
video.
Did you see that, dude? I got so this is the obsessive thing, where I was so pissed. Because I'm from Colorado, so it's like there was something morally wrong with the fact that I didn't have a snow shovel, and every year this happens to me, because we have like 1 snow a year, and I'm like, I want to buy a snow shovel.
And usually lasts like 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, because it doesn't stay cold, so you're like, I don't need a snow shovel. It's fine.
Well, this week was hell.
It stayed cold, and it's like, you know, it's ice. It doesn't matter if you're 4-wheel drive or not. You're just sliding all over.
Yeah.
And so I was like, doggone it. They don't have any snow shovels at Home Depot. They don't have any left already. Like, this is stupid. And I was like, I will not be stopped. So I was like, I'm going to make one, and I'm going to make a daggum plow behind my truck.
Yeah.
And I did. And my wife comes out, and it was like 3 a.m. I was in the garage smoking a cigar with the door shut, you know, smoking in there. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I fixed our snow problem. She's like, "Is that going to work?" And I was like, "It better work. It's called the Plowhard 3000 for a reason." Sure as heck, it works great. And I've got it now to where there's a boat winch that lifts it up electrically. So it's like, so you can lower it and raise it from the cab. You know, so you just...
You're the neighborhood hero, man.
So funny.
And this is why he doesn't have time for other musical projects. Yeah. Because he's
building
his
Plowhards.
That was late at night, though. It was like, I started at like midnight. I was like, I'm going to go in here and do that. I made it real fast.
You know, with that kind of mentality and dedication, you should like run for mayor, man. Yeah. You could really fix a lot of problems in this town.
Yeah, but if you're competent, You don't ever do politics.
Yeah.
You know, competent people do that.
Look at you just throwing that line out. You're trying to get him on it. Look at him. He's itching.
Try it.
I'm trying.
You try to get me on politics?
Yeah, dude.
I like to go to politics?
I like to get Ben fired up.
Oh, it's easy to get me fired up on politics.
I know. And the Broncos.
And the Broncos.
It's harder to be fired up on the Broncos.
Back in the day when Facebook was the main thing, I used to love seeing when Broncos would lose. I would go on
having a
just
meltdown.
me with Kentucky basketball and you with Broncos football. There was so much angst,
so much,
and anger and hatred and loathing,
deep hatred.
I mean, just soul wrenching, just apathy for people. And
now they just lose all time. So.
Yeah,
I remember when you guys got Jay Cutler, and you went out and bought like some autographed Jay Cutler helmet, and you're like,
no, he gave me one.
Okay, that's what it was.
He gave it to me.
But you're like, Jay's going to be the savior of our team.
Well, he sure was going to be until they fired Mike Shanahan, and then they traded him away. The next guy did. Josh freaking McDaniels.
Guy
can't keep a job anywhere he goes.
I can't believe he's had as many jobs as he's
I mean, I'm telling you, you know, that Patriot way.
He needs to be a bridesmaid the rest of his career.
He does. He
really does.
He'll be in Atlanta with Belichick.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Whatever is, if that's where he's going anyway.
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah, he'll be there. He'll be
trash calls.
There's nothing like in the middle. I mean, it happens every time. I've just before I would ignore it and they would keep knocking, and now just open the door.
You just put a do not disturb.
The trash people are just doing their job.
Yeah, just doing it.
If you're wondering what's happened, we just got the trash call.
The weekly trash call.
Housekeeping. We're fine
at 5:30.
That's amazing.
Dude, we're excited about the new record. We're excited about the future with you. Yeah. We're excited as a friend to watch what's going to happen. I'm excited about it as a writer to get back in the room with you again.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But I did my best.
Hold your breath.
I did my best. I don't think we've written a song since.
If it's not
been a long time.
In 10 years.
If it's not Florida, Ben ain't right with you.
We were on the same writing retreat back in March and still didn't write a song together.
Well, that first
Did you
day,
not?
man.
No.
That first day, I only came for 2 days.
Yeah, you were late and left early.
I was. And then that first day,
had to get him out of the basement from building plowhards and blowhards.
Well, that was in the garage.
He built an AC thing called a blowhard.
Yeah, the blowhard.
I see a pattern.
There's a theme.
Well, that I made redneck AC for outside. And I was like, you know, I'm getting tired of sitting outside because I would like to watch sports outside. Mm-hmm. And we have this covered patio with the TV out there. It's freaking hot. And I'm a big hockey fan, too. So it's like, you know, it gets hot when your team's as good as mine is and they go as deep in the playoffs as they always do.
Wow.
Got to be cocky about something.
Man.
My Broncos are terrible.
Are the Avalanche doing good this year?
They're good every year. They are. So they are
so confident.
I mean, they won the cup just 2 years ago.
Okay.
They're right back in.
Dude, so Avalanche.
They're awesome.
They are.
So I'm sitting out and I'm like, it's so freaking hot. And I've got a fantasy football draft coming up soon. I mean, in September. And I'm going to, what if I made a cooler? What if I took a cooler and I put a fan blowing into it and put ice in it and then put like some escape, some kind of
exhaust,
some kind of vents, but that aimed, you know? So I was like,
directional vents.
Yeah. So like, you know, like, but I was trying to figure out, well, where would you find that? The exact thing I'm looking for. And I was like, so I need a DC fan. So I've got a radiator fan for a motorcycle because it has to be able to, if it's going to get water in there, you can't. So I put it in there and then it works. It's called the Blowhard 3000.
Necessity really is the mother of invention.
I did.
I'm sure your wife was impressed with that invention as well.
She was. The only problem is it's loud.
Yeah.
So that was a prototype.
You have to get some insulation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I did add
some
one of
spray
those
foam
pans on top of the fan. You know, one of those steel mixing dishes. That I put some ice in that, and then I made it the Blowhard 3000 Deluxe because that way the heat kind of pre-cools the air. before it goes into the cooler.
I can't wait to see what the next version of the hard is going to be.
The blowhard series, there's a lot. There's
make
the
a
college
vacuum.
blow.
Yeah. Can you make a vacuum cleaner called the suck hard?
Did you say the college blow?
Yeah, that's in the series. The blow,
I think I've seen that on the internet before.
Porta blow.
Yeah.
There's that. There's like,
the low blow.
Yes.
I think that's literally a thing on Pornhub.
High blow and low blow.
The porta blow. Wow.
It's that's the deal. But now I've got the plow hards. I've got a couple businesses. I just don't know how to run them all.
So if you're looking in the market for something to put on the back of your truck,
Google Ben Glover plow hard 3000.
A wooden snow plow.
You're going to start making those to order?
Nah.
That's just a one-off?
That's just a prototype.
Yeah. You'd be like Elon Musk. You take
Doc
10
Brown
years to
here,
make a Cybertruck.
Good Lord.
Wait to make it electric. And, it'll be great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a Wheel of Shame before?
Oh.
No.
You're about to.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
You're about to.
I mean, surely I've seen a Wheel of Shame at somewhere.
Where can the people find you if they want to find you on social media, Ben?
Well,
are you on the Instagrams? Yes, you are.
What is it?
Glover.ben?
I think it's just Glover.ben.
Glover.ben.
Yeah.
So
does that mean that somebody stole Ben Glover?
Probably.
It's probably Irish Ben Glover.
Glover.
That's confusing because there's an Irish Ben Glover who's an artist.
Yeah, in town.
Oh, does he live in town now?
Yeah, he's been in town for years. We know each other, not like directly, but we've sent the social media things.
We've communicated.
We've had
those Irish.
We've had issues where wrong songs are turned in these places, and
like, I have
how annoying is that?
It's a pain in the butt. I'm like, why can't you be Benjamin? I was here first.
I have the same problem, but I get tagged on like Instagram, and it's like tonight in Atlanta, little pistol shooter, little homie head wound, Cal dollar sign thing, and David Tolliver music. And I'm like, one of these things is not
like the other.
These. But there's a guy in Atlanta. His name's Dave Tolliver. I've talked to him before. He was in a band called Men at Large. He's a huge black man, sweetheart dude. But I get tagged on all his stuff all the time, and I think it's hilarious now. But
that's so random.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
dude.
he used to get my publishing too. So I look on mine, and it's like, I worked that ass last night, and I'm like, I didn't write that.
I'll take the money for it.
I take it though.
Yeah, I've had some weird songs. I mean, Irish Ben Glover's written some weird songs.
I wonder how much of your money Irish Ben Glover has collected.
I wonder the same thing sometimes.
You might need to do an audit over there at ASCAP.
The good thing is, I've seen all the. Well, he's BMI.
Oh.
So it wouldn't make a difference, probably. It'd probably be just double pay.
Right? They're like, I don't know. We'll just give it to this Ben.
Because I'm still getting paid on them, so I'm like, well,
you think his mom and dad called him Irish Ben Glover?
I do have an email address that is not Irish Ben Glover.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. That's what I use for something else because I was just like...
It's not as good as Bag Lover.
No, not as good as Bag Lover.
He got so mad that somebody had his thing, and it was Irish Ben Glover, that he made an email, not Irish Ben Glover.
Not Irish Ben Glover.
There's nothing more Ben Glover than that right there.
Right, I was like, why can't you be Benjamin? I've joked with him before. You should be Benjamin. You really should.
Benji.
He's like, why don't you be Benjamin?
I was like, I was here first. You're from Ireland anyway, so I claim the whole country.
It's a weird leprechaun over there.
It's Irish. It's as Irish as I get.
You're always after me, Lucky Charms.
I'd like to hear your Irish Ben Glover impersonation.
Hard to love.
Hard to love. Hard to love.
Spin that thing, son. Spin the wheel of shame. See what you get.
Spin it. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Don't spill your coffee.
Wow.
I didn't want to knock it off the table.
No, you did well. What is it?
Tortilla slab.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Perfect for Ben Glover.
Okay, you know what? My daughters did this, I think, once.
Yeah.
Is it the same one?
Okay, so here's how we're going to do it.
Because this is great.
David and I are going to rock, paper, scissors. Who gets to tortilla slap you?
That's amazing.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Wait.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Shit.
All right. I get to slap you.
What are the other ones?
Well, they're all in code.
Oh. Pinche pendejo.
Oh, that's
Truth or drink. Oh, I would have liked that one.
what you don't want is wake the dead.
Oh.
And smelling salts.
Oh, really? I would have liked that. I've never done that before.
Then by it, you're going to get to do it.
What does it do?
You'll see.
You can do it after this.
I have to pee so bad. Will it make me pee myself?
Yeah.
You might make yourself right there.
Does it like make you pass out?
All right.
The smelling salts.
Get your bottle of water there.
You'll see.
Okay,
Do you know how this goes?
I can't remember.
All right, so
I'm standing.
what we're gonna do is we're both gonna take just a tiny sip of water, and you got to hold it in your mouth. All right,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna rock paper scissors,
Okay.
and whoever loses rock paper scissors gets the slap. Well, gets the slap of tortilla on the face. Okay.
Well, what's the water have to do with it?
Well, you're trying not to laugh and spit it out. You don't want to spit out the water.
Oh, after you're getting slapped.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
All right.
Do I have a tortilla? Or do we share the same tortilla? Getting weird.
Well,
sharing
only one
tortillas.
person's getting slapped.
It's been a long time since I shared a tortilla.
Oh. Oh.
You want to go again?
We can drink, swallow it.
You're just not supposed to spit it out. Yeah.
Okay, because I can't just have the same drink and it starts getting weird.
Do you want another round, or
Yeah.
you slapped
No,
enough?
let him try the
do
smelling
it.
salts.
Do it another one.
All right, we'll do one more.
Oh. Oh, I turned my flashlight on. I don't need to turn my flashlight. We are so high tech here. All right, let's go. Oh. Yeah. Give it to him. That might be the best one ever.
You fucking held it and like passed me on the chin.
I mean, I was trying to treat it like one of those towels.
You did it. You did. You whipped it. I'm gonna have a red mark.
I've never seen anybody snap a tortilla before. Let him try the smelling
Now you're gonna
salts.
smell salts.
Do I have to sit down for
No, just stand up. Here's what you don't want to do: just shove your face right in it.
So you don't want to go full nose. You're probably gonna want to hold it down here and give it a. Okay.
What's it?
Hang on, hang on. Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna.
How'd you
yeah.
get a hold of those?
yeah,
Is that an Amazon purchase?
Amazon, baby.
So wait, is it really smelling salts?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
All right.
are these some sort of like those gas station?
No, go ahead and get you a good deep breath of it.
So how far? Just right here? Whoa! Oh, I didn't expect that. Oh,
I still smell it.
oh wow! Holy cow!
I
It took him down.
I can't wait to
Took him
see that
down.
back slow motion, man. How's that
Yes.
feel, Ben?
Oh, that
You can sit down now if you
that
want.
feels like. I understand why you wake up.
Oh,
I know why you wake up. When you smell those, how could you not?
dude.
I mean,
like
that
to
takes
see it
you into the next dimension right there.
What concussion could ever fight that? It's like I see that concussion that just knocks it down.
We hadn't
Dude.
done it before. I went full on nose on it, and
Yeah.
my eye bled. Like,
I mean, it's just,
I was like, guys, I don't think you're gonna want to put it too close to your nose. And Dave's like,
yeah.
oh my gosh,
I thought my brain was gonna fall out. It was
It
unreal.
smells like if you gone into a rest area somewhere and there's like a urinal that's busted,
yeah,
yeah.
and it's like they've concentrated that
yeah, multiply it by 1,000.
like by
Yeah.
1,000. It's
Yeah.
just,
It's
just-
like everyone on the earth peeing on you at the same time.
yeah, but like really dehydrated pee.
Yeah.
Dehydrated, dark.
Wow. That,
Dark vitamin pee.
Just
that
distilled
I
piss.
haven't had
Yeah.
enough water.
Yeah. Like lots of vitamin B in there.
yeah. Vitamin P.
Very
Ben?
uric.
Thank you for being here today, man.
Uric.
Appreciate you. Thanks for coming by and talking to us.
Heck yeah, thanks for having me.
Amazing.
Yeah. Tell them where they can
fun.
find us, Tall
Yes.
Brewski.
We're available on all streaming platforms, and you can follow us on our socials at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Podcast.
Subscribe, like, follow, please.
Podcast, yeah.
Come on.
It's fun. Can't wait for my song to come out on Lee Brice's record.
All 4 of them.
produced by Ben Glover.
7, I think.
7. I have
now.
all the tracks.
All of them now.
All of them.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Ben, thank you for coming on, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Y'all have a good day. We'll talk to you later.
Later.